Do you ever get yourself in a zone where you feel like you're not enough, you can't do it, you don't know how to do it? Chances are you haven't mastered the rule of thirds. This episode is for you. Hello, my beautiful, gorgeous dance baby, and welcome to another episode of More Than Dance. Today, we're talking about the rule of thirds and how it's so important for you to know how to work your thirds. So let's just define what the rule of thirds is. Rule of thirds means that there's 3 ways that you're feeling at any given time throughout the entire day. I was actually introduced to this a long time ago when I was feeling like everything that I was doing wasn't enough. Everything that I was doing was just so hard. It wasn't right. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't anything. And I wasn't getting a chance to lean in and understand my own power. We've talked about the comfort zone and the sweet spot and the survival zone. It was almost like everything I was doing, I was in the survival zone. So when we think about the rule of thirds, we want to know that we're killing it at something. We want to know that we're working on something. And we want to know that we are really challenging ourselves with something. It's to make sure that we feel even and balanced in what we're doing. And that evenness and that balance is going to contribute to you feeling motivated and gaining momentum for whatever it is you're working on. So because this is the dance podcast, we're going to talk about dance, but please feel free to utilize this in any aspect of your life if you're listening and you're not a dancer. So the rule of thirds. Let's talk about the killing it era. So you are killing it. You feel really good about it. When someone's just starting dance, they might not feel like they're killing it at all. And it's very important that we extract where we are killing it. So you might be killing it with your outfits. You might be killing it by showing up weekly. You might be killing it by asking amazing questions. So it's a reframe of, yeah, you might not be good yet at these exact movements because you're learning them and you're doing such a great job at all these other things that are going to contribute to you being better at dance. Because one of the biggest things with becoming better at dance is your consistency. So if you can kill it and master the art of consistency, you're killing it. And all of the other areas will shift because of that. And we're going to get into that a little bit later. So let's go to the other third. The other third is you're working on something. And on the dance floor, this could be a skill that you have that you're working on, something not overly complicated. For instance, one move, and you're working through that move. Where these 2 thirds get a little different is when you're working on something and you know what you're working on and you know how to get better at it and you have a plan versus this other area where you're thinking, well, I'm not doing good at that at all. And it could mean because you don't have a plan, you don't know what it is that you're working on, and you're stuck in an overwhelm. So the reason why this whole theory came to my life is because it was just around the time where my graphic designer had moved on to other things, and I was trying to figure out how I can make all of these flyers for my dance class. This was also BJ before Josh, so it was when I was trying to figure out video, and I had a lot of things that I was really trying to figure out. And the things that I was killing it in didn't feel like a lot because I guess at that time I was taking for granted the fact that I am and was a great dancer. So what I was bringing into my life was a lot of questioning and doubt, and nothing in my life was really making me feel good about what I was working on a daily basis. I felt stuck because 100% of my life felt like I was working on something. I didn't feel as though I had mastery in anything. So that 1/3 of killing it, that 1/3 of mastery, we need that. We need that to be in our lives because that's the fuel. That's like meals of the day. It's giving us life so that we can work on other things, so that we can see ourselves sucking at something and know that we can get better at it. When you're killing it, everything is clicking. You don't really have to think about it. You have a feeling of mastery. You have results. You're showing up and you're excited to show up. When you're working on it, you're consistent. You have a plan. You know what you're working on. You're figuring it out. It might not be glamorous, but you're doing it. When you're not getting it and when you feel like you're terrible at it, nothing's clicking. You question your worth, the imposter syndrome. Your body feels weird. You doubt everything. Killing it brings you to your flow phase. Working on it, it's your practice phase. And when you feel as though you're terrible at it, you're in your reset phase. So you can imagine if you're going about your life and you're feeling like you're terrible at everything, you're not going to be excited and you're not going to be enthused to do anything. It's having this balance that's going to contribute to you having breakthroughs and moments where you realize that you're better than you think you are. So when I was able to peel back the layers, so here I am, I'm feeling some type of way about the fact that I'm not a graphic designer. I'm feeling some type of way that I'm not a videographer. I'm feeling a lot of you're not this, you're not this. And I was beating myself up, one, feeling like I should be those things. And then I got to get checked. And I got checked by thinking, well, hold on, you're not a graphic designer and you don't have to be. And you're not a videographer and you don't have to be. So in the case of the dancer, being brand new to dance class, you're not a professional dancer and you don't have to be. You get to be in the learning phase. You get to experience the learning curve. Part of the learning curve is understanding that you're not quite going to feel mastery. It takes a while to feel like you're getting something right. And this brings me to my next point. When someone's just starting at the studio, they're like, which class should I take? And I'm always wondering, how strong is your mindset? If you're going to allow yourself to suck, allow yourself to be bad at something while you're learning it, you're going to do great. It's the people who come in with the expectation and the judgment and the comparison that they either A, they're not what they used to be, or B, they think that the learning curve should be shorter for them because they played field hockey. Those are the people that are going to struggle the most because they're not comfortable allowing themselves to be in the other thirds, the working on it and the I'm not good at this yet and I don't have a plan. Instantaneously, they want to be in the thirds of mastery. And it could be extra difficult if they're stepping into the studio and other things in their life are also in those other zones other than mastery. So let's just paint a picture here. Let's say that this person's coming to the studio. They've never learned dance before. They just realize that they're quitting their job and they're going to change careers completely. And they just moved from a new city and they don't have friends yet. So that's a lot of change. One, that's a lot of not being in the mastery zone because you can't really be in your mastery zone when you're moving and trying to find friends in your new city, your new state. You're not going to be in your mastery zone when you're learning the new job. That's the learning curve for your job. Now you're doing a new activity. You're not going to feel that. So if they have a healthy mindset, they'd be like, okay, well, I'm going to extract all the things that I am mastering right now. Where am I killing it? Well, I'm a good packer. I packed my house up so good. Or, wow, I made friends instantaneously with this new girl at work. Or, I signed up for a class and I went to it. They're getting their brain in this cycle of seeing themselves as a master. It's going to be easier for them to work on things when they know that they're a master at something. So take a second right now and just think about, where are you a master? And it could be on the dance floor. It could be with what you're working on right now. Maybe you're learning a new skill. It could be the situation I told you. Maybe it's the exact situation. You just moved and you just switched jobs. Where? And no answer is foolish for this. Where are you feeling mastery? So if I'm going to do this with you, I would talk about my podcast because that's something new in my life that I am mastering. And if I was going to say one thing, is coming up with ideas. I am a master at coming up with ideas to talk to you about. Now, if I was really going to challenge myself, I would say, okay, well, where am I working on things? I'm working on getting ready with my ideas and not getting overwhelmed with all of the ideas so that I can stay focused on one for the episode. And then if I was going to go further with this, I would go into my other zone of like, where do I feel like I'm in my survival zone? I can tell you this, during the summer, I was in my survival zone with maintaining my motivation through the temperature. It was so hot in here and we were turning off the AC. I can say that that's a big, big challenge for staying motivated to do the episode when I'm feeling so hot. That was very tricky. And because that era really doesn't have a plan, because if I was working on it, I'd be working on it, I'd have some type of plan. I haven't quite figured out. So when the summer comes again, I still don't have a plan yet for how to stay motivated throughout that. So if I let that wear on me, I might say things like, I shouldn't podcast today, or no one needs to hear what I have to say. I'm too hot to think. All of those things could contribute to me not getting the end result that I want, which is obviously to podcast. So in your case, if we were to draw it all out, let's say that you're dancing and you're feeling like you're mastering your consistency, you're getting there. And let's say that you're working on memory potentially, maybe you're working on certain skills, and maybe you feel as though you are in the survival zone with outfits. And maybe you feel this because every time you go to put something on, you bash yourself in the mirror and you tell yourself that you're ugly or you don't look good. Or maybe you find yourself taking off your outfit and finding a new one that you feel more comfortable with. You're in the survival zone there and it doesn't quite feel good. And being so hardcore in that survival zone, so just picture it, even if this is not you, empathize with this girl. She wants to go to class. She's good at getting consistent. She plans her day around dance. And in her survival zone, she can't get herself dressed. She's stuck so much in that zone that weighs into her consistency. That's weighing into her mastery. I just told you, she's so good at being consistent. She plans her day around going to dance class and she gets herself stuck in her survival zone. Her survival zone becomes so big that she can't see where she's a master. So what that could look like, how that could shift is potentially she gets a couple outfits. Now that I'm thinking about this out loud with you, potentially when the hot season comes around, potentially I go to the dance studio and I do what I did in July last year. Whew, so hot. But maybe I plan, because it's a lot to bring all the equipment over there and then bring it back. So maybe Josh and I have longer filming days, which I don't love. Maybe that's what we do to alleviate my motivation around being so hot when I'm speaking to you. So this girl, maybe she has 3 outfits, and no matter which one of those 3 outfits, that's it. She's going to choose one. And then go through the feelings of not feeling comfortable and getting used to it. Getting used to the idea that we don't have to feel comfortable in everything we wear. There's so many times as a dancer where the choreographer put me in some outfit that I did not like, did not feel comfortable in, but it's part of the show. That's just part of the business, is you get used to it. You just get used to it. And it's almost like strength in numbers, because everyone also was feeling weird about their costume. So for this girl, it might be helpful for her to know that she's not the only one that's feeling some type of way about her outfit on the dance floor. Even me. Sometimes I'm like, Ruby, what you doing today? And I go to my backup outfit and I feel some type of way about the fact that like I might have a showcasing moment. Ruby might be showcasing. So then this girl, right? So now she has her outfits. She's working on it. She's in her working zone. Pretty soon that's going to be mastery level, because she'll know her strategy. She's going to be like, well, I'm a master at wearing something I don't feel comfortable in and dancing the hell out of it. Or I'm a master at bringing extra outfits so that no matter what happens, no matter what kind of wardrobe malfunction happens, I'm prepared for and ready for it. And all of that greatness feeds into us knowing and trusting that we're awesome and we can handle it and we can do it with mastery. We feel like we're killing it. So when you're getting to think about yourself, you might already be where I'm about to go, which is it's not permanent. So you might find that where you're surviving right now is soon where you're going to be working on it, or it's soon where you're going to be killing it. As we get comfortable and as we get more exposure to doing these hard things, we start killing it. So now flash back to where I was stressing out that I wasn't a graphic designer. I'm still not a graphic designer, but if I need to make a flyer, I'm going to kill it. And I know how to make a flyer. I know exactly what to do. And I'm no longer feeling like what I felt in that survival zone of, oh my gosh, I don't know how to do anything. Because when you get so centered in on something that you cannot do yet, you feel like you can't do anything. Because I couldn't do that one thing that I really wanted to do, nothing else mattered. Remember, I couldn't even remember that I was an awesome dancer. I was so stuck that I wasn't a graphic designer that's all that was in my brain. That's all I was focused on. That's why it's so important to check yourself back with where do you kill it? Because I know there's something. And it might take some time to figure out what those skills are, especially if you're not practiced at saying what those are out loud. You might even call a friend and say, hey, what do you notice about me that I'm really good at? And I'm sure your friends are going to be able to tell you. So I hope this was helpful for you, and I hope that you find the rule of thirds to be more motivational and beneficial for everything that you're working on. If this was helpful for you, it would mean the absolute world to me if you left a 5-star written review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. This is the only way the podcast can grow and reach people just like you who are trying to better their dance journey. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the dance floor.